match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat children. Pray.
All right, we back at the motherfucking Tough Talk podcast. Back with my co-host, Ibrahim Khalif.
Yes, sir.
Say something to the people.
It's good, y'all. Thanks
What's
for tuning
good?
in again.
Back, motherfucking Tough Talk podcast. Where do we even begin, man? Another week doing comedy.
Yeah.
Anything exciting in comedy this week?
Nothing for me other than I hosted a dope show at Soho Playhouse. Shit started ugly at first because I don't host much, man. That's not my forte. My energy normally isn't host energy because I think we talked about it before. You know what I mean? It's not my way to be phony. And I think most of the hosts, usually when I sit there and I watch some hosts, they, all right, guys, and they're clapping and they're doing, I don't know, it just makes me think of like Barney and Friends and shit.
It makes you feel like a clown a little bit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It makes me feel like that shit. It's like, and I don't feel like doing it, but after hosting, because I've hosted just a couple of times, but after hosting and that was like a real like show. Wasn't like an open mic or anything like that. It was like there was some stakes. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, I see why they do that now. I see the science behind why some of the motherfuckers do that shit.
In comedy is a weird position because it's the entry level position.
Yeah.
For like a headliner show. So when you go on the road, you'll see a feature headliner MC. The MC is usually the least experienced person on that show.
Gotcha.
But on the back end and at the highest level of comedy, hosting is the highest paid position. You know, think of Steve Harvey on the Apollo, years ago.
Or the Kings of Comedy.
And think of, Chris Rock hosting the Oscars.
Right.
And all that kind of stuff. So Steve Martin and all that hosting where... Like I said, it's weird because in the beginning, it's the entry level, least experienced person. And then at the end,
when
it's the highest level. Yeah. We've all sat in the writer's room and prepared stuff.
For the host.
But it is a little bit of fake energy because you got to kind of be upbeat. And where I'm from in Indianapolis, people taught you how to host. And that was... Like I said, your first step into the club was, look, you got to have a good, clean 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. And when I say clean, I mean club clean, meaning you could say ass, damn.
But it can't be like a dark.
You're not doing your booty eating bit. You're not doing none of that weird stuff. Or your jokes about the time you took a girl to get an abortion right up top. It's like, yo, do you know who you're opening for? You might be opening for John Mulaney and he's clean and now you just talked about an abortion,
Right.
So which is like, sometimes people look at clean versus, not clean. They look at it as, are they cursing or not? And it's just like, man, look at the subject matter. Look at the topic that you're talking about. So yeah, it's a strange thing for that reason. And like I said, it can be a little bit of fake energy. Hey, how's everybody doing? The bathrooms are over there. Yeah. I remember we had to do drink specials. And a lot of people hated doing that. And it's just like, yo, we want to work in this business. It is what it is. Because I tell you what is good, underrated money in the city is warm-up comedians.
That's why I heard that. My boy's a warm-up comedian for, he's the warm-up host, the warm-up comedian for Steve Wilko's show.
Yeah.
Jerry Springer.
Warm-up.
Kid I went to high school with, J-Hype. He killing it right now. He's on both those shows.
Warm-up is good money, and like I said, it is that. It's coming out and getting people hyped up, and, like I said, a lot of times in New York, I see some of the comedians, and it's like they missed the training because... They'll be hosting and they'll come out. So I'm struggling with depression. And it's like, yo, is this a comedy show or a counseling session? Like, what is this right now? You're opening up to people with depression, unless you got a killer joke coming behind that.
Right.
But she really didn't. She just had a whole list of her problems. To where it was like, is that a set list or a list of things you need to work on?
This bitch broke out a love seat.
It's
Start sitting back on the recliner.
Yeah, that shit is weird, you know. Depression is such a... I always feel like with depression, and I mean, I'm not going to say I don't believe in it, because I do. But I always feel like in the worst of situations, and then it's hard to take some people seriously, you know. They got a nice apartment. Nice
Right
apartment,
now,
decent job.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm depressed.
Right now, man, it's just the like people are appropriating crazy people culture. Because I remember, man, growing
appropriating crazy people.
Yeah,
culture.
Nobody wanted to admit that they was crazy years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like
no.
crazy motherfuckers.
When you say
crazy motherfuckers,
when you say crazy,
bruh,
see that's different
no,
because there's a stigma involved in crazy. No, you're right. I'm agreeing
it's like,
with you.
but some of them motherfuckers who were just depressed, we labeled them. They were crazy too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's just now everyone's like with my mental health, health.
Yeah.
Oh, my mental.
I'm over it. I'm sick of it.
The fuck are you talking about?
I'm over it. I'm sick of it. I love Charlamagne the God, but I'm just sick of it. Everybody is you know what was crazy? And I only mention this because I went to the movies to check out Hustlers.
Okay.
The movie with
you mean the biography?
J-Lo.
You mean J-Lo's biography?
Yeah, that's something like that. And God bless J-Lo, boy. Whew, them Puerto Rican jeans is good.
Really?
The 6 Train has done her wonders.
You think so?
Yeah, she aging well. And
I don't know.
Now, granted, that's with the camera, that's with the makeup.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because
I lived in North Newark, and there's a bunch of Puerto Ricans, bro, and we used to call them sports cars. Like you get them when they're young.
4 or 5 years.
That's it. You
tops.
got it, and then next thing you know, they
the
fall apart.
value is gone. The blue book value. I fucked that one up.
It's upside down, boy.
Blue book value.
It's like nah, they be blowing that chick up, bruh. Like, don't get me wrong, J-Lo was that bitch back in the day. My nose was open on some J-Lo back in the day. I had a little girlfriend that kind of looked like her back in Newark.
If you watched In Living Color and you watched all those stars, she was at the back just dancing.
Yep.
And she danced her way all the way to the front. So I got to give a girl props.
Danced and fucked.
Danced her way all the way to the front. I mean, I can't even say that. Whatever she did it right. Because, hey, let's keep it real. We in entertainment. I know some that fuck their way to the bottom. So where it's like, yo, you just did this completely ass backwards, didn't you? So
men in the comedy game can fuck themselves to the bottom. Women can fuck themselves to the top.
Men can fuck themselves to the bottom. What do you mean?
What I'm saying is, if you're a guy and you get a bad stigma out here for fucking, that could fuck up your bookings. That could fuck up your business. That can it's happening right now. It's happening right now.
Because we're gonna try to. We're trying to evade the details.
No,
so
it's details.
Hard for me to really say one way or another.
But I mean, but it's not just in comedy. That's just that's in a lot of
details.
I'm saying that's a lot of that's in a lot of industries, not just entertainment.
Let me get on my male feminist bullshit, which I think that's an oxymoron. So nah, definitely not. But I will say this. I don't think it comes with any repercussions for men fucking, if you're fucking somebody within the same business as you, unless they are the boss. Now that's when you fucking up. If you want to fuck a comedy club owner or a booker, which the number of women that are,
I think
usually is very low, so that opportunity isn't going to present itself.
I mean, even you just fucking
too often.
Well, what I'm talking about, like, if you fucking even a fellow comic, and it goes bad, and it goes around, it can get around.
Oh, well, if it goes bad, and that's kind of
I'm saying.
That's
like
kind of the climate now, though, to where you really can't break up with a chick. I mean, yeah, legit, a lot of these men just look like they can't break up with girls, once you got $1 million salary.
Incoming call.
Once you got $1 million salary, it's just
phone call completed.
We had a phone call here, folks. Motherfucking Tough Talk podcast, technical difficulties and such. We're important people. We busy, our phones is blowing up and whatnot. But that's always a thing, male-female interactions. Should you or should you not? And like I said, the number of women that are gonna be in charge of shit is gonna be low anyway. But yeah, I watched Hustlers. Check that out. That's what I've been up to. Saw a few movies. It was interesting because, of course, J-Lo's the star. I forget the Asian girl's name that was also a stripper. And, of course, Cardi B she makes kind of a cameo. And Lizzo's in there, too, kind of in the cameo way. But
Lizzo, that's the big girl, right? That be singing?
The big girl.
She's supposed to be like this. She's supposed to... I don't know. People like... People are reacting to her like Jill Scott never existed.
Yes. And she...
Yeah, Jill Scott, Angie Stone. Like, we had these women, you know, way before her, and they're acting like she's doing something new.
She's dope.
Lizzo,
dope musician, right?
Okay,
but I don't like that they, like you said, they are acting like we didn't fuck with Jill Scott and we didn't fuck with Angie Stone and
yeah, they're like
Aretha been big for a lot of
word
years.
Up.
Hell, Patty out here selling pies, so you know she got some weight on her. I always feel like that's a white male stereotype more than it is a black one.
Right.
Most of us, our mamas big, our aunts big, so. It's really nothing.
That's like also too when they were talking about. I seen this narrative on the internet that kind of pissed me off when they were saying black men call Serena Williams this and that and blah blah blah. And I'm like, wait a minute, black men ain't never.
Yeah, the internet.
I was like, that was white people.
The internet.
White people been shitting on Serena Williams.
Come on, Baby Got Back was in 1991.
Yeah, we always been about them yams, my nigga.
Baby Got Back was 1991, and so we always been embracing the pleasantly plump. Yeah. You know, we always been down for the BB Dub Love. I've Googled Christy Max a few times myself, you know. That's Christy with a K. Y'all want to switch over to y'all private browser for that.
Christy Max. Oh,
yeah,
what's up?
Christy Max. You'll look it up later.
You'll be like, we can't bring it up now.
I said the BB Dub Love.
Oh, the BB. Oh, okay.
BB Dub Love. Black males,
all right.
Hispanic males, we've always been down for the BB Dub Love. But anyway, I went to see Hustlers, and yeah, man, I was throwing ones at the screen during the fucking dance scenes.
Really?
Yeah, I sat front row. Because J-Lo can dance, so, you know, it translates. But what I found to be funny about it was, one, we don't do Manhattan strip clubs.
Right.
Like, I'm sure you've learned that because you from Jersey.
Nigga, we got them hole in the walls.
So where,
we got this one club, we got this one strip club in it's actually in Irvington, but it's right on the border of Irvington and Newark. It's called Slicks. If you know anybody from Jersey that they know Slicks, I'm not even gonna call it a strip club. It's not a gentleman's club.
It's called
that
Slicks.
motherfucker's at Slicks.
It's damn near a brothel.
Bro, you ain't fucking lying.
You might get caught in the raid.
Nigga, you go in there, shit, there's been motherfuckers who almost got caught in, like, motherfucking, like, drive-bys, like stick-up shotguns and
it goes
everything
down.
there. But outside of that, even going there to just have fun, bro, I've been in Slicks. Slicks is like one of them dirty places. You go in there, you come out with a sore throat. Every time you go to a strip club and you come out with a sore throat, you know.
You said leave your
that place is fucked up.
Leave your shirt at home. Leave your white t-shirt at home. Like, look, you might have a stain or two on your white t-shirt.
Just take that shit off and burn it when you leave. When you leave Slicks.
Burn it or frame it, however you want to look at it.
Depending on what the night was like. But Slicks is a legendary spot in there. And what was another one? It was another spot on Clinton Avenue. But yeah, most of the spots, Pacemaker Lounge on Lions Ave.
So what was making me laugh was watching it. I only went to a strip club in Manhattan once, and of course, you know the standard. Mostly skinny Russian girls. You know, they may or may not have green cards and be willing to do whatever for the green
tassels,
green card. Yeah, they all got the breast implants. There was, I think, one black girl there, but that's what I was laughing about as I'm watching the movie. You know they have a weight standard in Manhattan. And we purposely, as black men, leave Manhattan because we don't like the weight standard. We want to see some ass. And shit,
I wanna
maybe
see-
even a little stomach I want to see.
Yeah,
So,
I want to see some stretch marks.
yeah, we want to know that it's real. They're going to have
Straight
to
up.
open an organic strip club soon. It's
Mhm.
a lot of these girls ain't got no stretch marks,
It's
and you
G-
can
it's-
tell
yeah,
it's
it's-
straight from the Dominican.
It's GMO bitches, boy.
Got them shots. Yeah,
That's what they is.
non-organic girls. They're going to have to literally, remember how it used to be smoking and no smoking?
Yeah.
It's going to have to be this the ass shot side, the implant side, and then
And
we got
cellulite. We got
the
cellulite.
organic side
Yeah.
of the strip club on the right.
That's what I'm talking about. I want them little lines behind the hamstrings, right where the
Yeah,
hamstrings is at. I want
all of that. I
that.
wanted to look like, the map for the weather forecast.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
that's
I
what I
wanted to
want.
look like. I want it to be authentic, whatever it is. But yeah, I was laughing because Lizzo was in the Manhattan strip club, and I said, I know they wouldn't
They
let
wouldn't
her
let her
ass
ass in there at
south
all.
of 96th Street. They would put her on the first train going north. Like, look, baby, I think you looking for more of Sin City, or Club W is one that I went to last time I went, man. And Lord, we had a good time.
Yeah.
Shouts out to the young lady named Blessings.
Blessings.
Blessings, yes. She was like a good.
BLESSON.
I mean, that's how I pronounce it. I got a little accent, but
No, I'm just saying it'd be funny.
Blessings, obviously.
No, I'm saying
but,
it'd be funny if that's actually how she spell it. 'cause,
Blessings was in there
Blessings.
teaching lessons. Boy, I felt good. She sat in my lap.
Yo, it's this one strip club in because I only went on a binge when I divorced my first wife, right? My homeboy, he was taking me on this like strip club binge, and it's this one strip club in Elizabeth. I don't even know if it's still around, Elizabeth, New Jersey, called Cinderella's.
Cinderella.
Bruh, when I tell you the women in there was bad as hell, and it was just one chick. She danced to this song called she danced to the Prince song, If I Was Your Girlfriend.
Right.
Bruh, she took all my money that night.
Yeah, man.
All my money that night. After that night, I told her I can't go to strip club, and I haven't been back to strip club since.
Yeah, man. That shit
Bruh,
is
that
like
was-
grown man Disneyland.
Fuck, man.
Some of these strip clubs, it's just like
Pay so much money to have blue balls.
your morale might be low. But that's the beauty in it to me. The beauty in it is it's the last honest transaction. It's an honest transaction. Yo, I got $100, $200 or shit, $60 on a weekday, and you're fine. Come sit in my lap for this $60. Or, whatever.
I'm surprised that strippers can still make the money that they make with Instagram is popping as it is.
Well, most of those girls are strippers.
That's what I'm
and
saying,
they're
though. It's like-
converting or they're promoting.
But my thing is, what would make me go to spend money to see your ass when I can see your ass on my
Instagram.
phone?
Well, it's
'Cause it
all
was this
about
one-
the live experience. It's just like comedy. Like, you could watch it on Netflix, but do you want it right in front of you to where it can actually say your name as it smacks its ass? I get what
This
you're
is
saying.
one chick.
but
It was this one chick. She was like, I was following Instagram, and she was like, "Oh, when are you gonna come through and like spend some money or whatever?"
Yeah.
Nigga, I sent her money emojis. Like,
hilarious. Right.
I did. I swear to God, I made it rain with money emoji. She blocked me after that. I was like,
But
man,
yeah,
fuck it.
that's
I ain't lose. But my thing is like, why the fuck? Why am I gonna do that?
the live experience
I'm
is
seeing
always better.
everything right here, and I
Listen,
don't have to spend
we-
no money.
As live entertainers, as comedians are, we
Yeah.
cannot be passing judgment on strippers, okay? They are a lot like
But
us in a lot of ways.
nobody's throwing singles at us for our jokes.
But hell, they should be.
But should and doing is two totally different things.
If y'all want to come to a comedy club and throw money at me, I'll take it.
No, I'll take it too. But we're saying what it is that they're not doing it.
Well, yeah, that's because we are too stupid to realize what we are. We're literally pole dancers, with pole dancers with punchlines, and some of us don't got punchlines. So there's a pole on their stage, there's a pole on ours, it's not suspended from the ceiling, it comes up from the floor. And we tell people our problems the same way, Blessing's gonna tell you hers.
Or Blessing's gonna listen to yours.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Exactly. And that's
They
all it
listen to
really
yours.
is. It's us telling them our problems, and then they tell us theirs in the champagne room. It is what it is, But yeah, I was definitely having a good time laughing at the idea of Lizzo being in a Manhattan strip club. That shit just made me laugh because I'm like, yo. they would look at her and be like, unless you want to do security, bitch.
That's funny.
You got to get back
That's
uptown.
funny as shit.
What do you think the stripping cutoff is for weight? I feel like. Or is it all about the way you move, or is there like a cutoff to when she's no longer
You mean
sexy?
in the Manhattan area, or you mean in general?
Definitely not the Manhattan area, because you know what? The film is accurate because it's a bunch of Wall Street boys in the Manhattan club, where it's just like, look, we...
So what, I mean, you mean the weight cutoff and
I'm just saying, ideally, in your
like
mind,
in
what is like probably the biggest girl you
I don't
would
really
watch
think,
strip?
that I would watch strip.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or
nah.
does it...
To me, it's how you carry it. To me, what I like is all in how you carry it, man.
So it's like, you carry it.
So a chick could be 200 pounds, but if it's a right 200 pounds, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, if it's 200 in all the right places, then we good.
I guess you're right.
My thing is, if you dancing, look, man, you gotta be in some shape to dance, bro.
Yeah.
So, like, if you a thick girl, but you a lazy dancer, like, that's one thing I can't stand.
Right.
Lazy chicks at strip clubs, I can't.
So it's all about the effort.
Yeah, man, like, work for this shit.
You want to see a little bit of sweat?
Something. You gotta... I remember one time I went to this one, there's another one in Newark. That shit closed down. I forgot the name of it. I forgot the name of this motherfucker. But we went there one time, and this Dominican chick was working, bro. When I mean working...
Oh, Dominicans work hard,
I felt like... it felt like Flashdance. You remember the beginning of Flashdance?
Some of those girls are going real hard.
In the water.
You can tell by how hard she's twerking if she's first generation or second generation. You can tell. Because you go up in the Bronx sometimes and you go, God damn, she is working. And you like, yo,
yeah. You gotta tip her.
You don't got a green card, do you?
You gotta tip her right.
Yeah.
You gotta tip her right.
But so I'm gonna agree with you. I think it's all about how she wears her weight and how she's moving.
Right.
Because, you know, women wear their weight different. Obviously, you know, they got tits, ass, thighs, all that. So whereas if you're a man and you 250, that shit is all stomach, nigga.
It can be.
You can't be like, oh, well, after I have my third child, it's like, Negro, you just fat.
You did that to yourself.
You just fat out here in the streets, and there's no type of math equation that's gonna save you. But yeah, it's all about how she wear it. Like I said, shit, I'm down for some Dub Luv. I've Googled Christy Max on a few lonely nights. Christy with a K and 2 X's, brother. It'll be a good time for you. I wonder what she is, and that's the thing you can't tell sometimes on screen. Like how tall they are, because that makes a difference too. Because that girl Blessings I was telling you about, she was about 6'2", dog. God and damn. I couldn't tell, honestly, if she was Puerto Rican or she was a red ball, but she was working that pole,
6'2".
I was a fan, dog. What's the most money you ever threw in a strip club? I blew $285 one night.
Nah, never that much.
Had to go back.
Well over 100 though.
The girls was going so hard, and I was in such a mood. I remember I had like $100 in my glove box. I went and got that shit. Came back in.
You know what? No, I did. I did do 200 one time, one night. I did do 200 one night. I had to think about that shit again.
285, but it was a good economy.
I went back to the ATM.
Oh, not the ATM.
Yeah.
When you're at the ATM, you are
it seemed like that charge at the ATM is way higher than it is. The ATM inside the strip club
when you go
is
to
way higher than anywhere else.
When you go to the ATM in the strip club, that screen pop up like, brother, oh, so you in love, huh?
It should be a face on it, be like, nigga.
It should ask you 3 times, like, brother, are you
serious?
sure?
Are you sure about this?
We know you in a rough time, but yeah, they even the strippers look at you like a sucker as you head towards the ATM.
Bro, I went to
like,
the ATM,
look at this nigga here.
Went to the ATM because the thing was like, all right, I can't, because you go in like, you go in like, all right, all I'm gonna do is spend what I got right here. And man, old girl was working that night. And definitely, I was like, all right, I gotta get out of here.
Definitely take your boxes off. If you in a strip club with all types of layers of clothing on, you are not getting the proper experience. Dog, I remember telling the girl at this spot called Passions in Indianapolis. I remember telling the girl, like, yo, she was going so hard on my lap. I was like, yo, I'm nutting. And she was like, duh, and just kept going. And I'm like, yo, this is the best experience of my life. But I remember.
Pay bad bread to draw hump.
Check this out. She smelled good, bro. Was right.
Oh,
so I
man.
remember, like I said, to me, it's an honest transaction. I remember this about that strip club. They had a sign that said, "No women allowed alone." Because what was happening was, you know, it's in the middle of the hood. No.
Oh, they weren't fucking?
Women would come in. Women would hear a girl work there that they didn't like and would come in just to heckle the bitch, basically.
Really?
So they're literally just sitting there not tipping her, being like, bitch, I knew you wasn't shit back in middle school when you took my man. Yeah, work that pole, you dirty hoe.
Oh, so they wouldn't let them in if they didn't come in with another guy?
Yeah, you had to be with a guy because packs of girls would come in
and fuck with
just to fuck with a girl from the hood. Like, look at you, bitch.
This is one of the things where I think that I noticed where there was a shift with men and women relations when you had women infiltrating fucking strip clubs. It's like coming into gentlemen's clubs.
Yeah, I don't
want
want you to like what I like.
Like, yeah, just stay where the fuck you at. Like,
I want to like what I like, and then you like what you like.
Like, I start seeing chicks come in like barbershops all the time.
Yeah.
Like, we don't do that. Like, I don't go to a hair salon to sit around and hear y'all fucking chirp back and forth. Like, let us have our shit.
Well, that was the shift to where I blame Katy Perry, you know. What was it? I kissed the girl just to try it, and it's just like, nah. So now you get girls. So now you get girls that are talking to you, and they're like, so a threesome, right? And it's like, okay, you want me to get a girl for us,
but you don't
no. I want to cheat with her without
you. Yeah.
Like, you're ruining my cheat. Like, in fact, you're being lazy because women make you work. So you want to know what it's like to be with a woman? Why don't you go through the whole embarrassing experience that I go through? I want you to message them. I want you to get blocked.
No, first off, push up.
I want you to
push up so you can feel rejection.
I want you to take them on a date, and I want you to have to listen to them.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I said, I feel like this generation of women is lazy to where they're like, ooh, sure, let's have a threesome. Go get a girl. And then it's just like, nah, I'm doing the work for you.
That's a trap because they be like, get a girl, and then they got to approve of the... Yeah. It's like, no, it's about what I like. I already like you.
And then, you know, the real joke there is, and it always has
been... That's them fake gay chicks, though.
Yeah, I don't
That's
like
them
that
fake
shit.
gay chicks. The
like
chicks who be like, you know, that be, you play gay until it's time... To really show and prove.
The joke there always is for men, and I mean there's a lot of comics that do the joke. But it's like a threesome, so you can know what it's like to disappoint more than one woman at a time, to where it's like, yeah, that shit is a lot of work. Definitely a lot of work. But what was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about going to see Hustlers, and it was a cool movie until... Like I said, the chicks got caught because they was basically drugging dudes to where it's like, I hate that y'all feel like y'all not exempt because if men made a movie about drugging women everybody be pissed. But because women is like innocent and funny or whatever.
Look, and it's called Hustlers. Like it's a real legit.
So let me tell you, and this is the one line that's always kind of funny, and basically the difference between men and women. The reason that they could do it for so long was because men had so much pride
that they want to say they got.
Did not want to say they got. Because we don't like being victims. Well, until recently, where now everybody's a fucking victim and crying.
Right.
Look what she did to me. But no, you know how we got on this whole tangent? Mm-hmm. Who's in the movie is the girl, what's the young girl's name? She was Akilah in the Bee, and her Keke Palmer.
Oh, Keke Palmer.
We were talking about mental health, and I was talking about how I'm just about tired of it, to where it's just like, look, unless you eating out the trash can, I really don't want to hear that you have mental health issues. I hate to be that extreme, but I just feel like, listen, this is my perspective. I watched my brother die at 27 from cancer. Mm-hmm. What right do I have to complain as an over 30-something black male that's made it this long? I ain't been to jail. I don't got no child support, none of the bullshit. I'm living my dream doing comedy. Like, what right do I really have to complain or to be sad? Is how I feel. I know niggas that's been shot or in prison, whatever. Like, I don't feel like I have no right to complain. So for me to see people who honestly have had a lot less struggle than even myself complaining, it's just like, hey, come on, bro. You depressed about what? Like, what do you even have to be sad about? But no, Keke Palmer, the last time we seen her before this movie Hustlers that she's in, she was doing a book tour for mental health.
Right.
Now, she had the book in one hand, literally promoting it, and then would be like, oh, and this Trey Songz, he did something to me. And it was just like, why is everybody credible? She's literally holding a book in her right hand about how she's not well.
Right.
And telling you she's not well.
Right.
And also telling you, oh, Trey Songz did this and that to me. And it was just like, this is disgusting.
Yeah, it's all for sale.
Like, let's pick one or the other,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Either you're here to tell this story about Trey Songz and what he's done to you,
Mm-hmm.
or you're here to promote a book about how basically you're crazy.
Could it be about how what Trey Songz did to her led to? Is that a correlation?
It wasn't. It was basically just like, and I mean, obviously,
so
you know, with celebrities, deleted posts and stuff to where it's like, oh, you said something you didn't mean. To where in the past, if she said something she didn't mean, it'd just be to whoever's around her, you know,
right.
The 4 people in front of her. But no, she's putting this on social media, and then to me, it was fueling the drive. It's kind of like the Stormy Daniels thing, to where it's like, Stormy Daniels, you know, you signed an NDA, like, what are you even talking about now? Like, so now the NDA doesn't matter. Like, you're acting like, and I mean, Trump to me is a horrible person, and you don't need to make up lies about him.
Right.
Like, you could tell nothing but the truth about the guy, and it'd be bad enough. But to me, when they lie on him or try to make things that he does worse, it pushes people to the other side. Because not only that, but it's like, yo, how are you ever shaming a dude who's dirty by being like, oh, you fucked a porn star? His fan base liked that. They're like, oh, word? So, yeah, it's just like, to me, to beat Trump, you got to share pictures of him, like, with his kids, or hugging sick kids at a hospital, or petting a dog. Like, you got to share good images of Trump to beat him. You don't get to beat him by saying he did bad shit. Right. But
shit, I fucked a porn star. People tried to make me feel bad about it.
Really?
Yeah, that flipped on them.
Yeah, that's
I didn't even know the chick was a porn star either.
Oh, word?
Didn't know.
You could tell that story, man.
Didn't know at all.
Like an old school porn star?
Nah,
like,
she was
like modern day.
What happened was it's early 2000s,
right?
Like mid 2000s actually.
So
and
if you didn't have the tape,
I was on Black People Meet. This was before like free porn really took over. Like, you actually had to buy the shit.
So if you didn't have the tape,
you didn't know. So I make this chick off, what was it? Was it Black People Meet? It was one of them dating sites. I was single and shit. I was back out here. And so she hits me up. She's a pretty decent looking chick. She kind of looked like Angelina Jolie. She was like from Venezuela or some shit.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, cool. So we meet up. We have lunch, whatever. She's nice, whatever. I'm like, damn, nice looking girl. You know, why are you single? She's like, she was married at one time, but her husband's in the military, and they split up. She's like, I want him back, but he don't want me back, and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, what's that about? So so we would talk every now and again or whatever, and I remember one time, because when you single, you doing the online dating. This is, like I said, when it's still in its early stages.
I'm doing it when I ain't single.
Yeah.
That's when it's fun.
Yeah.
Because you don't care if she respond or not.
But she was, so I remember I was trying to get my dick wet. I was over at this big girl house. Now, I didn't know she was a big girl on her pictures on the thing.
The BB Dub.
The BB Dub. So the pictures on the fucking site, she looked just like a, like I said, like a thick girl, but carried it well or whatever.
Okay.
When I got there, she was a little bit thicker than I anticipated. And she was still kind of but it was like, how like they one cheeseburger away? Yeah, she ate the cheeseburger.
Okay.
So she was just over that over my limit.
So she wouldn't have been in
She
the
was right
Manhattan
over.
strip club.
No, not at all.
She'd have been
not
on
at all.
Staten Island strip club.
Yeah, maybe not even then.
Maybe not even then.
She might have been at Slicks. She might have been at Slicks.
Might have been on the other side of the tunnel.
The other side. So I'm over at her house and I'm trying to call little girl. She wasn't picking up. So I'm like, so then finally she calls me. I'm like, hey, what's, the other girl went in the bathroom. I'm like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm like, what's up? I'm trying to fight off the fat girl.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm
so
in the
you had
same
two
neighborhood.
kind of
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, yo, what's going on? I've been trying to call you. I'm up in your area. Blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, no. She's like, I just got in from work. And this is the funny thing. When we would go out, she would never talk about work.
Gotcha.
Never talk about work.
Right.
So she's like, no, I just got in from work. All this shit. I'm like, all right, well, let me come through and see. I want to check you out. She's like, oh, no, I'm tired. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
what's going on? Oh, long day at work. I'm like, long day.
Long day.
Shit, lots of meetings.
She said 12.
Lots of meetings.
Lots of meat.
So, I don't know what the fuck going on. So then, I'm like, all right. So then I end up having to get a dick to the big girl, right?
Okay. First off, don't say that like you didn't want to.
I didn't. No, I really didn't.
See,
but
the thing about big girls is
when
they like meat.
But when you single and your dick is like, come on, your dick is like a soldier. It's like, come on, let's do this.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, fucking, I ain't going home. I drove all this way. I ain't going home.
You might as well get what you came for.
So I gave it to her, whatever. Then I ignored her calls. And then,
Don't try to brush past the part where you was trash. Then I ignored her call.
No, I wasn't trash, bitch. No, because she was a girl, like, she was talking to me, like, when we was online. And then I got a number. She's like, oh, guys stalk me. And, I just want to have something casual. And, you can give me that dick and just go on about your business. So, nigga, that's what I did. I gave her the dick and went about my business.
Yeah,
then she just called me. She just kept calling. But when I'm single, I was calling her bluff. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
So she called me and she kept calling me or whatever. Anyway, let's move on from her. So we move on.
The porn star.
So she sent me some professional pictures.
Okay.
Right? She sent me some professional pictures or whatever.
She cropped the dudes
and I had
out.
and I put it like as my screensaver at my computer at my job, at my old job. So then one of my coworkers was like, yo, is
shit.
that he like, yo, is that he like, yo, is that your
Wow.
girl? I'm like, nah. He's like, what you got a porn star up on your thing for? I'm like, she ain't no porn star. He like, know her? He said, that's your girl? I'm like, nah, ain't my girl, but I know her. He's like, that's your girl? Like, y'all go. I said, nah, he didn't
want to hurt your feelings.
Fuck.
Like,
I was like,
your girl,
it's not. I said, nah, it's not my girl.
My man got a tape.
He's like, oh man, that's a porn star. I'm like, I ain't no fucking porn star. Because we used to call this nigga the Oracle. Like, he swear he knew everything.
Right.
So, hey, this motherfucker go, he think he know everything. So then, some time went by. He kept, like, bringing it up. I'm like, yo, nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, we've already established that this ain't...
Yeah.
Bruh, like, about 3 weeks. We're like in the third week since the beginning. Bruh, he walks in with a DVD.
Hilarious.
Yo, he puts that shit in, bruh. She is being ravaged. But like, it's two different scenes.
No.
Bro, the first one was an orgy. The other one, she was getting ravaged by this dude, yo.
Damn.
And what's so funny was when we did fuck and like she gave me head, I told my boy, I said, man, she sucked dick like a porn star. But I had no idea.
All you was missing was the camera.
She
gonna have your ass sign a release form next.
So motherfuckers was trying to like play. They was, that's blah, 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 blah. It's like, nigga, I fucked the porn star.
The Oracle was correct.
Yeah, he was. That was the one time his ass was right.
But he had to dial your feelings back a little bit.
But yo,
like,
it's like, but I had no feelings because on some real shit, I wasn't even like, when he brought that up, we was just still cool, but I wasn't fucking around with her.
She had no feelings either.
Yeah. Nah, dude, she kept hitting me up, man. Like, she was aggressive.
She needed that green card.
She was aggressive. Nah, she was a citizen, motherfucker. No, she was already married to a dude in the military.
Well, that's why he got rid of her.
When he found out about that, that's why he got rid of her.
She was doing.
She told me that too. She told me. She said once he found out about that,
while he was stationed, it take a strong girl to date a military dude or a dude in prison.
Nah, the chicks
you gotta be a strong woman.
The chicks who got niggas in prison seem like they fucking hold them niggas down.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying they hold them guys down way more than chicks in the military. You're about
That's because they scared they might get killed.
That nigga great. He in prison for a reason.
He's already in prison for being violent.
Yeah,
so.
but the chicks who got dudes in the military, they cheat on them
A little
all
bit,
the time.
but most dudes in the military kind of know what they're working with when they leave. My father was military to where
yeah,
it's
my
like,
dad too.
Either
they say Jody's fucking you.
either let it go. I remember one of my OGs, older homie back home I used to work with. He was in the 60s. He served in Nam, but he told me about literally being in a rabbit hole and bullets flying over his head, and also trying to read this Dear John letter of like, yeah, I've moved on.
Yeah,
and just being
that was a lot of
where,
motherfuckers.
like, people are getting shot to where it's like, boy, women can be cold-hearted, boy. Woo, that's some cold shit.
You didn't. The only thing getting a motherfucker from day to day over in Nam is is I want to make it home to this girl I love
and my child or whatever. But it's like, yo,
and then the child might not even be yours.
Would you rather that, or would you rather to be lied to? You come to that door and you hear sounds, and you're like,
now you kill everybody in the house.
Yeah, and they ain't have the Hitachi wine back in the Vietnam days. But I checked out the. Did you check out the Joker movie?
Yeah. Good.
It was dope movie.
You saw it too?
Yeah, I checked that out too. You know,
it was good. Joaquin Phoenix, you think it's better? His performance is better than Old Boys? Than
it's hard for me to say anything's better than the Heath Ledger in the bank scene. That shit was so good. When that motherfucker kept saying, the two people would say, yo, he told me to kill you.
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy because he told me to kill you. And then they would kill each other. And by the end of it, it's just him and the dude. And it's like, man, that was the perfect heist. I don't really want to get into who was better. I think they both were dope.
No, they both were great.
I think they
But
both
the reason
did
I get into what's better because that's how everyone was thinking when Heath Ledger first was cast as Joker, that nobody could ever be better than Jack Nicholson. And then Heath Ledger destroyed that shit.
Well, that's the conversation you want to have. Although it feels
and then it was like, oh, wow. But then people were like, oh, well, how you going to have this Joker movie and Heath Ledger, no one can follow him. But now,
you know why it's
fucking Joaquin Phoenix is a bad motherfucker, though.
But see, here's the thing, and this is why it feels like false equivalency to me. Because even when you go back to Jack Nicholson, it's like, well, the quality of cameras and the face paint and everything was so different. That one with Jack Nicholson is damn near in Technicolor, you know. That shit is pre-Nintendo and all that shit.
At this point, yeah.
So, and then even when you try to do Heath Ledger,
I went and seen that shit in the movies when it came out.
Even when you try to do Heath Ledger versus Joaquin Phoenix, it's like, well, fucking Heath Ledger was just in the movie, you know. Joker was the whole fucking movie. There is no Batman in the movie to where, it's like, it's hard to say, you know.
I mean,
they both were dope.
They both were good.
But one thing I hated was that Joker was a comedian.
I mean, they followed the Killing Joke. But Alan Moore, they followed that.
I hated that he was a comedian because people already think comedians are crazy. You know, God bless the dead. But Robin Williams and the way he went out to where all our family had to have that conversation with us after to where like, are you okay? Because Robin Williams was very successful and you're not very successful. So if he was dealing with things, I know you're dealing with things. So yeah,
that's funny.
Although I definitely feel like it's more of a white comedian thing than it is a black one.
Did you hear his manifesto though? When he was sitting on the spoiler alert! But when he was sitting on the show with Robert De Niro, and he was talking about comedy, and he said that's not funny. They were like, that's not funny, and he started giving perspectives about fun. And I saw how they put that in there, and it's almost like an indictment on comedy or a particular type of comedy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because he finds something particularly funny and no one else did.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, oh, it's all subjective and stuff like that.
He loved the pain. Every time he would laugh, I would laugh because that laugh was creepy.
Yeah, I was like, but I just seen how they just worked that in there.
Yeah. There was some intricate moments within comedy, even his Notebook, to where I'm sure if I left my notebook somewhere, somebody'd be like, yo, man, you need help.
Yeah.
Like, who would sit and write stupid shit like this all day? I think I wrote in my notebook, and my girl and this girl saw it. I was at a coffee shop writing, but you know how you get up from your seat and come back? And I was writing, and I think I just wrote crack meth is gentrified crack.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back over and I kind of see her glancing and she was laughing and she was like, you do, like, explain this basically. And I'm like, oh, I do stand-up comedy or whatever. And lucky she was cool because she was sitting right next to me.
Right.
And she started.
What, did she forget the baby? You saw her look around like where's the baby?
Maybe she's on her way to get it. But yeah, I was lucky the girl was laughing. Because if, you could write some shit down and they could look at it and be like, she could have moved over another seat, right? Like, I don't know if I want to sit here. Is it safe? But yeah, he was going through his notebook and I was like, damn, he do look like a madman.
That's like Mark Maron had a joke on the last album I heard of his, listened to his, was he said he would write little notes or whatever. And then he said he collected so many of them that he forgets where his frame of mind was when he wrote.
Right.
He said all he had written on his one note was autoerotic asphyxiation.
Hilarious.
And then he said now, like, his bit when he's on stage, he said, what the fuck was I thinking about at that time? He said now he's trying to, like, there's no breadcrumbs that'll lead him back to where his frame of mind was.
It's like, is this a
when
reminder?
He wrote this down? He said,
is this a to-do?
And that's what he was saying
list?
too.
Where's my belt?
He said, and then he's like, I spend a lot of times in hotels by myself, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was funny. Like,
it was a good movie though. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was so weird that the chick ZZ Beats or whatever that is on Atlanta, she found time to go to his comedy show after he stalked her. I was like, oh, okay.
But then they corrected that.
How did they correct it?
He imagined all of that. That none of that happened.
None of that happened?
Remember the part where he goes into her apartment?
Yeah.
And she comes in and she's like
sitting there.
Yeah, she's like, you're Arthur, right? And he goes,
right.
Yeah. And he goes, I've had a bad day. And she's like, I heard about your mom. Blah blah blah. But remember all the scenes you saw. She was in the hospital with him.
Yeah.
She was like, none of that happened. He imagined all of that.
Oh, so he's out here fantasizing about black women.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how they be driving themselves crazy? They be dreaming about that brown sugar.
That brown sugar boy drive you crazy.
Okay, that's funny. I didn't catch that.
You didn't catch that in the movie?
whole time it was driving me crazy because I'm like, is that what these black chicks be doing with these white men? They be getting stalked by them, and that's how they get now them. Every black chick I see with a white dude is suspect. And I'm like, did he stalk you first? Because I know black women quick to call the police. Shit, you ain't followed a black woman for 3 blocks. She gonna be like, nigga, okay, I got the 9 and the 1 dialed. Now you need to cut a different direction. But yeah, I thought that was weird because I was like, is that how you get chicks to come to shows? You gotta stalk them first.
Yeah, he stalked.
And shouts out to the comedians that's in the movie. It was dope to see.
Greer
Barnes.
Who else was in it?
Sam Morril was in it because he was doing his parking joke.
Yeah. And old boy who just got his special out. Gary Goldman.
Gary Goldman is
Gary
in
Goldman's
it too.
in it too.
And they shot that right over at Dangerfields here in New York.
That definitely was Dangerfields. You couldn't
they,
mistake that for anywhere
else. They called
else.
it something
Pogos.
different, but because it just had that old school feel with damn near the lava lamps that are on the tables at Dangerfields.
You know the name they picked, the Pogos, is named after Pogo the Clown, which was the clown that what's my man what's that fucking killer? He was the clown. He used to go to the birthday parties and shit. He was a serial killer.
Gacy?
John Wayne
Gacy?
Yeah, he was a serial killer. He used to go to the birthday parties and lure the kids.
Okay.
Pogo was the name of the clown that he
learned the game from.
No. That was the name of his clown.
Type of character.
When he would go to the parties, the birthday parties.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They named the club after.
Because I remember reading about Gacy and thinking, boy, these had to be some white parents. Because black parents, unless which circus are you affiliated with, sir? And if you can't name one, hey, you ain't coming. My kid ain't going in your basement, motherfucker.
I remember that movie. With Brian Dennehy played him.
Yeah. But
that shit was spooky as fuck.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was funny too because as comedians, when you watch it, you get to see a little bit of like we're one step away from clowns, and people don't want to deal with that. Like, even at the beginning of the show, when you were saying, like, I don't want to be no hokey motherfucker. Hey, how you doing? How's everybody doing? Is anybody celebrating anything? We got drinks. We're here all night. Like, you don't want to be that upbeat host, and it's like, motherfucker, we are clowns. All we're missing is the red nose. Like, it's funny.
I gotta find a sweet spot.
It's funny because we like to view ourselves as artists, but to most people, they see us as just like, look at these motherfucking clowns. Like, if you told somebody at a ground level, like, yo, I want to be a comedian, they kind of look at you like, so how do you make money from that? Like, well, do you want me to sign you up for the circus? And I think we feel like we're not, because we're on shows where it's just comedians, but it's like, nah, if this was back in, the 1600s, we'd be in a tent right next to the motherfucking juggler. And you'd be like, damn, man, I hate following the juggler, man. This motherfucker's good.
Hey, what if you get bumped by the lion tamer?
Yeah, right. Like, man,
you gotta go after him.
I gotta follow him, and
the contortionist is doing a guest spot.
Like, that motherfucker.
Like, this bitch all the way from London. She came in from London, man. I gotta give her 5 minutes.
We gotta put her up.
The fuck.
And then if you bomb, it was actual consequences for bombing. Then the alligators, they open the moat.
The lions then
shoot you up. Everybody know you bombed because you missing an arm the next day. Like, damn, how'd last night go? They like, motherfucker, you don't want to know. Well, that's where them old, like, showbiz terms come from, like break a leg and shit. That was literally King Henry broke your motherfucking leg if you wasn't good. Everybody knew you bombed. But yeah, man, Joker was a good movie. What did you think about, like, obviously it's all, whatever, hidden messages or whatever. Like, I felt like there was definitely a message of, like, rooting for the villain. And mass shootings, because you felt like the Joker was more like a symbol for something,
Oh, yeah. That's the idea of the Joker anyway.
Where it wasn't so much about him, but more of the idea of the not really the oppressed so much. Yeah, not really the oppressed so much as it was like just the forgotten about people, to where, the winners win and status quo kind of with the elections not really mattering, or at least I feel like they don't really matter. I think Chris Rock had a great quote. The best quote I ever heard was, he said, no matter who's president, Compton's Compton, and Bed-Stuy is Bed-Stuy. To where it's like, if you at the bottom, none of this shit really matters. So I kind of viewed it from that viewpoint, to where, like, they cut Joker's healthcare and shit to where he couldn't even have a psych to see or whatever, and couldn't get his medication even, to where it's just like, shit, a motherfucker might as well be crazy.
It's almost as though, like, they was talking about, the way I saw it too in the movie was like, it's almost like the rich did all of that shit almost to fulfill some self-righteous need to help these so-called people who were in need. You get what I'm saying? Like you said, they cut all their funding, they cut all this shit, and like the Waynes are the most powerful motherfuckers in Gotham, and he was gonna run for mayor, but he's running on this platform like, I'm trying to save the
help
city.
You, and it's like,
but he hasn't done anything to help anybody to that point.
Community, right? And he's never and wouldn't shake your hand if you extended it to him walking by.
Exactly.
So,
and the way they depicted him was interesting too, because that's the first time I've ever seen Bruce Wayne's father depicted as almost like a Donald Trump type.
Yeah, he hit motherfucker with a mean right hand.
Cleared up.
Which is what's funny about all
told him his mother was crazy and
Which is what's funny about all of them speaking about Donald Trump, even to where it's like, I'm sorry, Oprah, but y'all all have pictures with him. Like, he's one of you. Like, yeah, he's speaking, in a way that you don't like now, but let's not act like y'all not all in the same tax bracket.
And the same thing that goes for rappers. They all emulate. They all
rapped
about him and emulated him.
Get this Trump money. We at the Trump suites.
Even his failures were victories, or so-called failures, because he would file for bankruptcy and motherfuckers would brag about it in rap songs and shit like that.
Bankruptcy is a rich move.
It's a rich move.
It's people, a dumb motherfucker think, oh, that mean you broke. No, that mean I'm trying to keep from going broke.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely I think it felt like it commentated on the whole, like I said, people at the bottom and then people at the tops acting like
class
they're speaking
warfare
for them. Yeah, class warfare. So where everybody embraced him and he was supposed to be the bad guy, and they looking at him like, he's a hero. He shot them Wall Street types. Even in the movie Hustlers that I was telling you about, their whole thing was, we gonna get these Wall Street boys. To where I didn't really understand that class warfare until I moved here. And obviously I moved here right after I moved to Manhattan right after the Occupy Wall Street
shit, yeah.
To which the funny thing was with that is like, yo, your father's a banker. Like, you're well educated. You're sleeping in front of banks now. Like, you're basically fighting yourself.
But it's really just a thing of just, you're trying to project to people that you're this good person, or that you're, it's all for you to be like, oh, I'm not like my dad. But you're still
really
spending your dad's money.
You really are.
You know what I'm saying?
It's that white woman thing of, we're fighting the patriarchy. And
but
it's
the
like,
patriarchy pays your rent.
Go knock on your father's door. Yeah. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm not the patriarchy.
But all they want to do is project that. Really, I believe all of that shit is to project all of those ideas onto so-called quote-unquote minority
100%.
groups, so that we'll take on all of this shit that they really don't apply to them.
Because within comedy, I definitely don't like the tone of like white middle to upper class values being projected on everybody else. It's like the victim blaming thing, to where it's like, yo, if you live in the hood, you better victim blame, because trust, if you leave your car door unlocked, they taking your shit.
Yep.
I knew motherfuckers that would walk around and pull car door handles
just to see
if anybody was slipping. And hell yeah, they would take your CD player just on the case of, motherfucker, this ain't the place for that.
Yeah.
Like, if you weak, it's getting took. So that was just how we came up, to where a lot of this shit that they be doing, I'm like, oh, you was out here drunk? Well, that's what happens, buddy. People take your shit when they catch you slipping. So don't be slipping. But yeah, speaking of that, and the whole thing and themes that we don't really
talk about,
to be able to grasp, they had the UN meeting, and the kid, the 16-year-old girl, Greta Thunberg or whatever, she spoke really passionately, man. It was it touched a little bit of my heart there to hear her speak about climate change and global warming and all that shit. What did you think about that?
I ain't give a fuck.
You ain't give a fuck? Nah, I mean,
man, I ain't give a fuck. I mean, I just don't want. Look, she just got here, man.
Yeah, well, right.
Like, she just got here. It's like, it's good to have optimism, man, but you're gonna live in the world a little bit more. Maybe I'm a little jaded, but it's like you're speaking to people who really don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
like,
once you get to be about 25 to 30,
you'll understand that
you
these
realize
people
they don't give a fuck. To where you're like, why even say anything?
You're doing this for the applause of people who it's not really gonna accomplish
idealistic
shit. It's just, that's all it is.
So I'll give you my theory, and this is only funny to me because I recently felt like this, and granted, it's all socio-economic shit, but I feel like I've only seen white people talk about climate change.
Yeah.
And I think it's because if it keeps getting hotter, everybody's gonna be black. And they realize that. So they're like, oh no, we can't have this shit happen. My grandkids are gonna be black. Like, we gotta stop the sun.
Or the sun is already killing them. Imagine if it got hotter.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be like,
exactly. So where we tropic people anyway, we like, cool, bring that on. More melanin for us.
It's like, look, I wasn't wearing SPF to begin with, but
plenty of space anyway. But yeah, it's I feel like I've only seen them speak about it, which would be good for like what's the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, because he want to wear blackface anyway.
Yo, fucking, I mean, like, they over here crying all of this. I see all these people applauding her for that shit, but Flint still don't got clean water.
Facts.
Newark, where I'm from, don't have clean water right now.
It sucks to me, and I feel
there's a lot of places in America that don't have running water, adequate bathrooms, adequate education. So my thing is, when motherfuckers be talking all this shit that's up in the stars and the quasars, and nigga, you got shit right here on the ground level that you don't give a fuck about.
But that's
so
why
I don't get all into that save the world,
white
that's
people want to
rich
talk about
white people shit.
White people want to talk about the son, and black people want to talk about they son. It's like, nah, you shot my son.
Right.
Taxpayers' dollars murdered my son, to which we could spin right off into the whole case that went down last
Amber Guyger
week.
and
Amber
all that
Guyger, folks, if you don't know, I don't know if you live under a rock or what, but the Amber Guyger girl she was Dallas Police Department.
Yeah. And
she wandered into the wrong apartment on the wrong floor. I believe allegedly one floor up from hers. Opened the door into a black man's apartment, saw him there eating ice cream, and started shooting. No questions asked. He died or whatever.
Didn't even give him CPR or anything.
No CPR, no help, no none of that. I believe, and anyway, she was convicted last week. We'll see if she actually does any of the jail time that they gave her.
She's gonna do like 2.5 years.
They gave her 10 years, but people acted surprised that a cop got 10 years, or she didn't get.
She's also a white
years.
woman.
Yeah, a white lady cop in America. I didn't expect her to do but 5, so people were like, only 10, and I'm like, she's also a cop,
but she's
not just a white lady.
But she's also gonna be eligible for parole.
Within 3 months.
She's not gonna do the whole 10,
and it'll be kiddie camp somewhere. It won't be maximum security, roughest of the rough. It ain't like she going to San Quentin or nothing, or Rikers.
But the big story too that came out of that was old boy, the brother of both them, John, hugging her.
Yeah, he hugged her in after the verdict was announced. The brother of the guy that got murdered hugged her, and a lot of black people had a lot of strong feelings about seeing him hug her, and the judge hugged her too. But I think, and I wanted to get to this before we got to that. She did what she did, which it still doesn't make sense to me, because I think she had to be high or drunk. Because it's such a stupid thing that it's just like, explain this. And the only time when there is no explanation, I feel like somebody was drunk or high. And it would make more sense to me if she admitted she was drunk or high.
But didn't somebody say something a while back about how she actually did know this guy? Well, like she knew this dude.
This is what I was gonna say. There was a lot of stories,
speculation
put out there by it's hard to even say who is the news and who isn't the news anymore.
That's true. Yeah.
Because at this point, people will be sharing shit, and it'll be from blackplanet.com or it'll be from, you give me another one of these right-wing media sources to where everybody's spinning the news to where you heard a bunch of shit. First there was, they were dating. Then there was,
she banged on his door one night.
He had weed and all this extra shit they tried to put out there in the middle. But like I said, to me, the pieces still don't make sense. But I did read that, the text messages were read in the courtroom.
The text message between her and
Between her and she was... And this is what I'm saying.
Oh, between her and the person she hit up to come help her?
No, overall character. That has to be taken into account, because the court doesn't let anything slip. It's like, well, give us your text message transcripts. So she was banging a married dude, and he was a cop. So where I'm like, she's trash all throughout. And then even like there was something about her working MLK Day, and she was shitting on Martin Luther King, and it's like, all of this kind of goes into the narrative that, of course, Black lives didn't matter. And that was her overall attitude. That's why she would start shooting. Because, like I said, I put myself in everyone's shoes. I stumble into the wrong apartment, which is so retarded.
Right.
But my first instinct would be like, whoa, shit, hold on, what's going on here?
My thing is how she get the door open.
Well, they said the door would, but see, that's what I'm saying. There's so much here that doesn't make sense.
I'm thinking that they did know each other. That's what I'm thinking.
I never want to go that far, because I feel like that would have been revealed through the court documents or whatever. Now look, maybe there's a reason that it wasn't revealed. You might be right.
I don't know. I'm just taking context clues, my nigga. Like,
No, yeah, that's what I'm
Doors
saying. It doesn't
unlocked.
add
Like, how
up.
did she gain access to the apartment that's not hers?
It doesn't
The door
add
was
up.
unlocked. Usually, when a motherfucker leaves his door unlocked, it's because he's expecting somebody he knows, right?
Or maybe he just felt safe. Nah,
I don't think so. I think he unlocked that shit because he was expecting somebody he knew.
Yeah, you
right?
might be right.
That's one.
Detective Khalif here.
Two. Hey man, I'm just saying.
No, you're correct. All of
you
this.
expect somebody
listen,
it's unlocked.
listen.
All right, I expect this bitch to come over because you expect to probably hit it.
Listen, it was one of them stories that when I heard about it a year ago, I said, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
Right.
When she got convicted last week, I had to sit down and I said, let me read 3 or 4 articles of facts from credible news sources. Because I said, this still does not add up. So what you're saying is plausible, man. Like, there's so much
also
shit
how the brother was talking to her
that doesn't make
at
sense.
the end before he
he was talking to her like he met her.
He knew her
Like he
already.
knew her.
I want the best for you, and I want to let you know I love you.
So-
and it's like, did they have a relationship? Like, what type of shit?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, you're not gonna know everything. Like, something's just weird about that shit.
It was something very weird.
There's something
about
left
it.
out.
Even when she said she opened the door and he was eating ice cream on the couch, and it's just like.
So you saw him.
It's like, wait a minute.
You recognize that he was eating ice cream, but you did not recognize that this is not your apartment.
I felt like she was lying right there because I'm like, most black people are lactose intolerant.
Nah, nigga, I like me some butter pecan.
Like, I don't know.
You can go ahead with that shit.
He was eating ice cream?
Yeah, man, I be eating ice cream on my goddamn couch, too.
Which to me made me say to myself, even more the reason why I would think you wouldn't start shooting. You would start asking questions like, yo,
yeah, but
what's
that's
going on
see,
here?
you're thinking that she's telling the truth. I don't think she's telling the truth.
No, yeah, I think there's a lot of shit being
there's a lot. I think she knew that dude.
Because the 3 conclusions I could come to. One was she was drunk or high, and then the second one being the bitch is just stupid. Because I'm like, this is just some dumb shit. Like,
I think she knew.
Who goes into the wrong apartment on the wrong floor, a whole floor up from them? And then, like I said, even if you did, you wouldn't just start shooting.
I recognize that he's sitting on the couch eating ice cream,
Right.
but I don't recognize I'm at the wrong apartment.
Exactly.
It's horseshit.
Because they said
she knew where she was at, and she knew what she was doing. And then when she shot him, the first thing she did was text another cop.
Yes.
She didn't call 911.
One that she was fucking, by the way.
Yeah,
Like that was
to help me
through the court.
Yeah,
document.
I'm saying, but she's like, she texts this dude to come help her. So you want him to come and, all right, what type of story we gonna put together? You don't call 911. You don't try to say this dude's life.
It makes me wonder
you knew what the fuck you was doing.
It makes me wonder how stupid the people they hire at the police department are, because like I said, it just didn't seem right. And then we can get to the whole like them being hugged thing. I mean, on one hand it was like, well damn, but then there's another part of me, like I said, a lot of black people took the part of like, I'm tired of seeing us forgive people who've done us wrong, because that's kind of our narrative in this country.
Yep.
But I felt like on an individual level, pulling that story, that case, those actions away from the greater narrative, which is very hard to do because we know what our greater narrative is.
Right.
I pulled it away and just looked at it and thought, it's not my place to tell him how to grieve. He's already lost his brother, which is sadder than anything I can think of, you know, and lost his brother, not just, you know, it's one thing to deal with things, you know, alone or just with your family, but this is a national case, so everybody's seeing this. And there's a lot of pressure and weight on him not to crack or whatever and to be solid. So I felt like it wasn't my place to judge him. If he felt like he wanted to hug her and that was part of him letting go and grieving and getting over the whole thing, then fine for him, you know.
Man, fuck all that. Fuck that, man. You gotta understand where the hell you at. First of all, what the fuck was he doing on the stand saying anything after that?
Saying anything. Like, she's being, I want the best. Man, get the fuck out. Thought it was
the mother was the realest one. The mother was, she said, listen, I'm in Haiti. I'm going back to Haiti. There was a lot of corruption here, and y'all need to clean this shit up. This woman did X, Y, and Z, blah, blah. What the fuck he come off with the whole, I want to we let white folk off way too fucking easy.
Which is always...
And it's all down to programming.
Right.
We're programmed. It's one thing that we know what it's like to be on the bottom.
Right.
The other part of it is we have been programmed to empathize with white women. White women tears mean the world to black folk. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah. It means everything to white men, and it means shit to black people too, because through all the movies, white women are seen as damsels,
the Central Park
victims,
5,
the Central Park, all that shit. So it's like, fuck that, man. Let her hold that shit. Let her hold that shit, man. Don't sit here and fucking... I mean, look, we could say that. You could say that, you know, all right, even if I give you the brother and what he was thinking, that is valid. But then you got the judge and the bailiff.
Yeah.
Come on, bruh. The bailiff fixing her hair.
Like I said, it's so
man, fuck
it's
that,
just
man.
Like what is happening here?
Fuck
and
that.
I mean, I have a lot of feelings about it, but like I said,
when that special needs dude got convicted,
yeah,
the family was cheering.
The Queens,
outright.
Right. Well, I mean, this goes back to, was it Malcolm X that said that they fear us because they know that if we treated them the way they've treated us, that they would be angry and violent about it.
Right.
And we're not. And that's their whole conundrum, is that they do expect us to be violent and out for revenge, but we're not. So yeah, I do think there is something to be said on a larger scale about us forgiving, because even like Dylan Roof, when he killed those people in the church,
and they forgave him too,
to which brings us back to Joker. I wonder if James Holmes has seen Joker. Do you know James Holmes that shot up the movie theater, the Batman killer? Yeah, I wonder if that was like his
Dark Knight. Yeah,
that's his special request.
That's funny.
But nah, the black people that were in that church immediately forgave him. So that was the larger conversation this week about, you know, black people and Christianity, and your slave master taught you to forgive and to be that way because it was to his benefit.
I think it's more so outside of church. I don't even think it's the church thing. I really think it's programming in media.
As a whole
programming in media.
And if you don't,
we're all under that same.
If you don't, then we get to file you under the angry black man thing. When the truth is, you should be angry. Yeah. Anybody would be angry. Which if white folks feel even an ounce of what we go through, they lose their fucking shit. Mixed feelings about what you said about his mother, because I view immigrants in two lights. I view them, and black immigrants in particular, and I mean, we live in New York City, and it's no secret that a lot of the Africans and stuff don't like us. American blacks, you know. I try not to say African American anymore, because I feel like neither of those things are true. I'm not African, and I'm not American.
And you're not getting the same rights as an American.
I would put not so in front of both of them. Not so African and not so American, because I'm neither. I said all that to say, you know, watching what his mother had to say and knowing that they were Haitian, to where it's fucked up. And this is the part of me that I don't want to feel, because you want to say to her also, like, well, you came over here to get called a nigga. Like, I woke up here and was brought here, you know, through my ancestors, you know, obviously
grandfather
were kidnapped and brought here to be called nigga. You made a conscious choice to come over and be called nigga.
Because that's what they programmed all of them, to make them feel as though that they were better than us anyway. So niggas here in America ain't no more than the cobblestones that's on this street right now that these two white folks are walking on. So that's what we are, and then everyone else who migrates here, they walk on our backs, and they make them feel as though that they're better than us when they get here. So they think they're exempt from a lot of shit that happens.
I'm not gonna be like them. I'm not gonna be better.
We're so much better.
Which was sad for him, because he was like an engineer. He
was making good money and everything.
Good brother, and you know, all the way back to, remember Amadou Diallo up in the Bronx.
And what's my man, and also my man with the plunger, got the plunger.
That is unfortunate, but it's like, and I feel this strongly as a black man in my 30s. It's like, yo, we are a minority. Really look at that word. You know, if we're 20% of the population, we don't have time to be divided. So you get a lot of them passing judgment on you. And you know, a cabbie, you know, in New York. I drive a cab. I talk to a lot of them, and a lot of them feel like Black Americans or African Americans, whatever you want to say, are lazy. And it's just like, well, who taught you that, man? You ain't been over here but a year. And then also you want to say to them, that's cool, I'm glad you feel that way, but I want you to understand that to the larger society, they look at you like me. There's no separation between me and you.
Yeah.
Like, you can walk around and feel that way, but they gonna shoot you the same way they gonna shoot me.
I had a debate with a chick who was Jamaican a couple years back, and actually I turned the argument into a bit. It's a joke I sing on stage now. But she had this argument like, oh, you know, my grandmother, she told us to stay away from American blacks because y'all lazy, y'all this, y'all that, blah, 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 blah.
After we built this motherfucker.
Yes, and we gave them all of that. She said, my family came here with nothing. My family, blah, 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 blah. So now I said to her, and I say this as part of my bit, I said to her, I said, see, that's the difference. I said, that's the difference right there. I said, you said that your family came here. I said, it was never illegal for y'all to have a family.
Right.
I said black people, it was illegal for us to be here and to be a family unit. I said, no, your family unit wasn't under fire like ours was. Because that was the basis of our community. Yeah, you came over here and you were able to build little communities of little Haiti and little Jamaica and little Italy and little Nigeria, whatever, and we're spread out all over the place.
Whereas we round up scattered all over the place and don't know where we came.
We don't know where cousins is at. Look, like, how many motherfuckers that don't know how many cousins they got?
It's a song I've been listening to a lot lately, but J. Cole and Rhapsody, he's on that joint. I think it's called Sojourner, but J. Cole said, because I knew my name, but I did not know myself. And that's where I found myself as a 30-year-old black male, to where it's like, yeah, I do know, I do know my name, but I don't know where I come from, or going back 3 generations deep and shit, like some of the Jewish people and the white people and the Irish people can do, to where it's like, yeah, you can go to Ellis Island and see where they came in at. I don't know where the fuck I came in this country at. You know what I mean?
And that's what killed me about that show that they used to have on NBC, was that Who Do You Think You Are?
Yeah.
And they went back, and I think Brooke Shields was related to some royalty back in France. And I said, this bitch don't get out of here. And I like me some Brooke Shields. I always thought she fine as frogs here. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, fuck out of here, man. Of course, you're rich and white here in America, and of course you're a descendant of royalty somewhere in Western Europe or some shit.
I have to stop myself sometimes from commenting, but I saw this black girl on Twitter, and she was talking about how, when she get married, which is funny because you could put the "when" in quotations.
Yeah, word up. Between now and 30 years.
When you get married, all right. She was like, I'm not taking my husband's last name. I'm keeping my last name. And I had to keep myself from typing, like, yo, shorty, that ain't your last name no damn way. Like, you placing so much value on something somebody else gave you. That's not your last name no damn way. We was laughing, but we was making a joke about, what was it? Okay. So I'll tie this back to comedy. Was it Hassan Minaj, I think? And mixed feelings, and the same mixed feelings that I have for Haitians.
Right.
Hassan Minaj was on Ellen, and he was saying about people mispronouncing his name. And I said, half of me levels with him, but the other half of me said, well, you chose to come over here and your name is foreign. So yeah, sometimes people are gonna mix that up to where it's like, I can't go to Africa and then be like, motherfucker, you can't say Phil or Philip. You don't know how to pronounce that. Like, get mad at them. That's rude. You made a choice to go somewhere, and now you're looking at them like they're rude. Because I feel like, and I mean, this is fucked up, because Hassan Minaj, obviously, that's, our brother within comedy, so we ain't gonna shit on him too much.
But he was born here, right?
I believe so.
He was born here.
I won't get too deep into the specifics because I don't know. But all I was saying and the way I felt, and this is why, as an American black, it puts you
not so American,
not so American, not so African black person. You feel it's such a unique point of view, because even what he was saying, I felt a little bit of resentment, because it's like, you chose to come over here though. Like, not to say that you should have to deal with whatever they give you and whatnot.
Right.
And then for someone to say, well, Phil, you know, what if they can't pronounce your name? And it's like, motherfucker, they can't. Like,
yeah, but you grew up with
Shaquille O'Neal ain't Irish.
But you grew up with Phil Hunt. I grew up with my name.
Ibrahim
and
Khalif.
Motherfuckers would mispronounce my shit, misspell, you know what I mean? And then you're also expected to be able to pronounce Deutschgeistski or whatever these other motherfuckers. You're supposed to be able to know who they are.
I don't think so.
Off type. You know what I mean? It's like, I kind of get where he's coming from. It's like people don't even make the effort to learn your name or whatever. They just figure, oh, well, you know, they ask you for a nickname, or can I call you this for short?
I mean,
and
true.
You have a different experience than
True.
people who've grown up with pro-black and
names.
Islamic parents and shit
True,
like that.
but I'm also saying that ain't my name. Like I said, Shaquille O'Neal ain't Irish. To where
Right. I get what you're saying.
People's immediate retort to my feelings would be, oh, well, they're easy for you to say. Your name's Phil Hunt. But then it's like, that ain't my goddamn name no way. Like, you feel me? Like, I would you rather, at least you got to keep your authenticity, is my view on it. Like, well, damn, that's nice. Because I know this ain't my goddamn name.
You sound like how when motherfuckers be saying that they go on double dates and they kiss their girl and the girl and the other couple go, must be nice. you sound like that. Well, you sound bitter as fuck like that.
But see that, and
he's
that's
like, Hassan Minaj is like, nobody pronounces my name right, and you like, at least you know where your name comes from.
At least you got a name. That's how I feel.
Must be nice.
Ain't my goddamn name, man. You know, and that's the American black.
Hey yo, and the part of you that's responding like, motherfucker,
Exactly.
you came over here. It's almost like we as American, not so American black people adopt. As much as we try to deny it, you adopt some of like white folk feelings and American feelings.
So,
you do,
though.
because that's what they would say. Like, motherfucker, you came over here. It's like, yeah, we get that. But at the same point, I know what it's like for motherfuckers to mispronounce my name. And not even get the
get it. But what I was trying to say, and this is why a lot of times either I'm going to have to hold back how I feel.
Why? Nah, just say it.
Because either I'm going to have to hold back or I'm going to have to say it and then deal with the repercussions. Because the American black or the not so African, not so American position truly is one of being bitter. And rightfully so. Like I said, that whole angry black man moniker that I hand you, or angry black woman too, sisters, I hear you. Your voices have been heard. Is righteous, because everybody to me gets to claim this or claim that. And I mean, shit, I'd be real talk. My mother said it and I had to think about it, and God bless my mother, because she's where I get it from, you know, strong opinions. When they were talking about the children at the border, I mean, the larger conversation is, well, first off, you've been enslaving black children for years, and B, not just through slavery, but through mass incarceration. What about their children? You didn't care when you were locking up 18-year-old blacks and trying them as adults. And I mean, you've been doing that for a long time. Or ripping away parents and locking up everybody over a gram of crack, you know, that you found. So that was Bill Clinton. That was 1995 and shit. So let's not cry too hard. Yeah, it's sad they're at the border, but hey. And then, like my mother said, which this was some extreme shit, but I really still be thinking about it. You know, the Mexicans didn't want to hop the fence till we built it. When we was getting smacked on the back and building that fence, where was they at? Right. So now everyone's supposed to. So the American black position kind of is one of being bitter, because everybody else kind of can get their restitution. The Indians got, the Native Americans got their land.
The Jews got their shit.
They came over, that didn't even occur in this country. They got
their shit, yeah.
You know, as they should have been. Shit was sad, but it's like nobody feels sorry for us. It's always a position of, oh, pick yourself up and stop whining. And I think it was Michael Shea that did the joke, and it was perfect. I feel like that shit is one of the most prolific jokes I ever heard, where he was talking about, on his special, he
9/11.
He was talking about 9/11, and he said they say never forget, but slavery is oh get over it. He said, you know, next year for 9/11, I'm gonna get a shirt that says all buildings matter, and it's like, yeah, that's the American black position, is to feel that way. We've been talking for a minute here. We just trying to build the chemistry here and get that chemistry. We let you in on a little bit of insider information here, and we building that chemistry. We gonna do another episode. We not even gonna do any fight stories this week. We'll be back next week with some motherfucking fight stories, and the week after that, well, we trying to do bi-weekly, and then we're gonna do one more episode just to build the chemistry between Ibrahim and myself here, and then after that, we're going to be back with guests and, you know, comedians from all over New York, and have them sharing their fight stories. But thanks for listening. Follow us, you know, on social media. I'm on social media at I am Phil Hunt. Ibrahim.
It's like at Ibrahim Khalif. IBRAHIMKHALIF.
And thanks for listening to the motherfucking Tough Talk podcast.